Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Wendy.
And welcome to the Toasted Marshmallow Adventures Podcast. Today we're at the lounge at the end of the universe, and we have Dan and Tiffany, who are the producers of the Idaho Pun Slam. Woo-hoo! Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're excited.
So tell us first, real quick, how you started the Pun Slam.
Yeah. Do you want me to run with it?
Yeah, you start.
Okay, so when we were first getting together, we were living in Seattle, and there was a Pun Slam in Seattle, and the first time we went, it was a blast. I participated. Second time we went, it was a blast. A little bit more packed in the bar. I won that Pun Slam.
Nice.
She murdered a man on stage, actually. Completely murdered him.
The third month in a row that they had the Pun Slam, it was a packed house. And
Standing room
so
only. It was basically this little bar sort of like on the edge of West Seattle that had a small stage for maybe a couple musicians, but wasn't built for like a comedy event show.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't necessarily like the big thing, but then it grew into the big thing.
in 3 months it
then
grew
they just kind of stopped doing
so
it.
big.
And then
we moved away.
We moved away to
And we're
have
like-
our family here, because you have family here.
Yeah.
And we missed the Pun Slam so much because it was just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And then years later, once we finally sort of established a rapport and a working relationship with Jen, we went, we have all the tools we need. Let's do it now and here. Because
Super cool.
we can, yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
I think Seattle is so awesome.
It's
an
the best.
amazing-
It's where I'm from. I grew up there.
Nice. I'm from Juneau, Alaska, so
Really?
yeah, Alaskans spend a lot of time in Seattle.
Sure do.
No way.
Sometimes I think I'm actually Canadian.
Oh,
That's, that's how close I am.
Yeah.
Nice,
Where are you from?
I'm from Boise, Idaho.
nice.
Hey, born
Yeah,
and
this is
raised.
home.
Wow. The minority in the group.
Wait, where are you from, Chris?
I'm from California.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so Bay Area, California.
Yes.
Yeah, you're from Juneau, so.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So we've got almost all corners of
Yeah.
the West
Yeah.
here.
It's kind of funny that the minority here is the one that's from.
Yeah,
From here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
It is weird.
let's skim past that fact.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. So you started this from a Pun Slam that was in Seattle, and then you brought it here. How many years ago did you start the Pun Slam?
We started it in 2019, right?
Yeah,
It was
I think
only up
here at 2019. And I think, so the one that we like came from, I believe that one was inspired by a big competition in Austin, Texas.
called the O. Henry Pun Off.
Yeah. And that's, so I think that's where that person started that idea from. And then when we brought it to Jen was like, oh, is it like the O. Henry? I've always wanted to do that for my own.
Yeah.
In fact, when Matthew Broussard was here, who I believe was a guest on your podcast
Yes.
too, he
Monday Pun Day.
I
Yeah.
mentioned and I mentioned it, and he said, "Oh, so it's like the O. Henry." Okay, got it. And
Oh,
I went,
okay,
okay, cool.
gotcha.
So
Yeah.
that's
And then
that's
he
the-
participated in it
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
he was here. So
he got
that was,
to play.
that was really fun. He actually won,
Yeah.
too.
I know. I listened to your podcast there
great.
because
Oh, good.
I didn't actually see it when it was happening. We were so busy that we did 9 interviews over
Yeah, I
that.
remember
man.
seeing you spitting them out.
Yeah, it was
the live stream was
crazy.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, he was on, and he was one of those comedians that in person was kind of flat. Yeah. But
I didn't get a
is-
chance to-
Oh, really?
to-
Okay.
no.
I mean, it was still a good interview, but like listening to him during the Pun Slam, I mean, he can write some puns really fast and a lot of them. So, I mean, I guess it just shows he's a great writer.
Yeah.
And I actually asked him in that interview, I mean, do you run into people that are not funny in person but are great writers? And he said he was one of them.
We agreed.
Yeah.
I think Matthew Broussard has to date, for our money, the most puns per minute in
Yeah.
any given
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
They fly out of his
Just
tongue.
like, yeah.
That's what I really love. Like, a good round of a Pun Slam is like when somebody can string together their jokes so that it's not just punning off of the topic that they got, but it's like kind of a story, or you can like weave in a few
Yeah.
puns into one sentence because even if it's just that sentence,
Yeah.
that's still a story that you get to tell rather than those one-liners, like, which are still great.
Yeah. So how long do they have with a topic?
So,
Yeah, tell us the structure of how this
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
do you want to do it?
Yeah, so the show starts at 7:30, and our rule is you can get here up to an hour before the show to draw your topic. Some people,
Starts at 7.
oh, Goodness gracious, I'm so sorry. So an hour before showtime is when we encourage you to pick up. You can use your phones to research. Okay. And some people don't grab theirs until 10 minutes before the show or something because they showed up late. They're like, oh yeah, I want to play here. There's a few extra slots.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can use your phones. I tell everyone, make them laugh, make them groan. It's all the same.
Okay.
Because we don't care
That's
if it's...
what I wondered.
Really?
Yeah,
was
last
telling
night we
her.
were watching Pun Slams, and I was like, oh my God.
I was
are
like, yes,
serious?
if you like face palm, it's
and I was
doing
like,
its job.
people are laughing. Why are
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
laughing?
Yeah.
And he's like, this is the same. Okay, good. I'm out of this.
Yeah. So, and we say we have up to 2 minutes, so you don't have to fill that 2 minutes. You just have a I'll cut you off at 2 minutes effectively. And the real magic comes down to the audience because we just hand out a handful of whiteboards right before we start and to 5 audience members, and we say, here you go, you're going to score everyone 1 to 5.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Listen to your heart, what have
Yeah.
you. And so we get some pretty close matchups throughout the evening because everyone's, either laughing or groaning generally. Contestants either come up with a series of one-liners, they tell a story, and that's really the magic of it is seeing what comes out of it. There was one person, I think it was at the Comedy Fest, that just started doing like impressions of like a joke based on the pun, and it was
think I heard
very
that one.
abstract.
Like he got the topic rocks, and he was like making puns on the word rock rather than the topic. I've never seen anybody interpret it that way, but I'm like, it kind of worked.
It kind of did. There's not really a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's the first round, and then for the second round, they get their topic at the beginning of intermission. So then they have 10 minutes to write 2 minutes worth of content, and then the third round, 2 people go head to head in a final pun slam, and they have 30 seconds with their topic, and they share the same topic and just have to
we give them a couple
rapid
chances
fire.
to pick between
That's
these
like
two,
a
agree
rap
upon
battle.
it.
Like a
Yes.
battle.
Yeah.
Fun battle. Nice.
We should throw down the beat next time.
Yes.
I used to call it a pun off, but Danny's like, that's why it's called the slam. It's the pun slam.
Nice. Okay, so your judges are just picked at random then from audience members. Okay, that was my next question. Now, who decides
Like
the topics?
randomly, this guy would love
This
to
bag
be a judge.
right here.
Oh yeah. If you ever
do you hear it?
randomly want to judge,
Totally randomly would love to judge.
Are you guys going to be able to see it tonight?
are we coming to the show?
I think so.
I think we're going. Yeah, we were kind of talking about it, and so.
I mean,
Randomly, I'm never a judge.
yeah. She's not like the spotlight.
No, not at all. No, randomly.
see, I wouldn't worry about you guys being the judges. It's the people that are like, oh, I'm their mom and I came with them. That like,
yeah.
okay, you can't be a judge.
Right. In here,
Yeah, no.
so I don't have a car.
So
Awesome. So who decides on the topics? Is it the two of you together?
we got this bag right here.
Okay. Yeah,
we
Can you
just-
hear it?
I can hear it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
sort of collected favorite categories from the past, and
okay, cool.
really the categories are as basic as like, what do we got? Pasta. I got movies and theater. That's
Wow.
infinite. Like shit. Alcoholic beverages. Like I think we have like gardening in there. Just if you can think of a thing that you can do.
Thoughts
Yeah,
you can
just-
think of.
Yeah.
And then there's some
but then we try
like
to-
more niche ones too, like SpongeBob or Pokemon or Marvel.
God.
So if somebody happens to
yeah.
draw it and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know
What if
everything
they have
about
nothing?
this," we let them mulligan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we also don't want to like force someone to produce
Yeah.
content that they're not comfortable doing.
Yeah.
So like that's I think one of the lessons that we took away from the Seattle Pun Slam that we did was give them 10 minutes for round 2 to write for a second, because when we did in Seattle, round 2 was you go up on the spot, you have to come up with 2 minutes.
30 seconds.
Here, give
Wow.
people a mulligan. Just the more generous you can be, the better content they're going to come up with.
Yeah.
Because
Cool.
Yeah.
I know I keep saying this. The real magic is their confidence
Yeah.
in how stupid or how witty their puns
Yeah.
are. And if they're not going to come up with the confidence of like, I know what I'm talking about, and I've got
Well,
a
you
couple
want
good
to sell the
singers.
show. You want the show to be awesome.
Totally,
Exactly,
totally.
like,
So we
rather have it be entertaining than challenging, because it's like it's not about the challenge. It's still challenging to like go up for 2 minutes after 10 minutes of writing. Like that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. So. Yeah, to write that much in 10 minutes, 2 minutes of material.
Yeah,
so the ones that can do it are. I mean, hats off to them. Yeah.
And I think that's what Matthew Broussard did. He like told a story as he came in, kind of. Yeah, he had some really good puns, and some that were just, there was like one sentence he said, and there was like 4 or 5 puns in that one sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a squirrel outside. It's so sweet.
Since we're distracted by a squirrel, I'm going to adjust this.
Oh, okay. Oh, was that off the whole time?
I hit it.
No, it just got moved a little bit.
It wavered a smidgen, but
okay.
That is neither here nor there. Actually, it is right there, but otherwise.
Okay, so where does this bag sit in your home?
Ooh.
In a basket. We have a Pun Slam basket that houses all of the things we need. So we have like the judges, whiteboards,
and
notepads and pens and
sheets of score templates for you, and like your bulletin board for announcements,
recording release forms.
Yeah,
just like all of our
everything we need to cover
and
our
everything.
Butts.
So
that's the name of the game.
We probably need recording.
That's what I just.
I'll get you my template.
We're only on episode 94.
That's a good idea.
We're totally going to sue you after this.
Yeah. Defamation of character.
So, did you do anything during COVID, or was that complete?
No,
not for the Pun Slam. We thought about it, and the idea of being able to like stream a Pun Slam with some folk here when the lounge was doing their COVID streaming experiment sounded really cool. We honestly, it was a combination of we don't have it in us. Like the magic is live. We're not in a rush to try and replicate that. And we kept ourselves busy with a couple other projects during COVID. But Pun Slam was I feel like we were saving that for like, this is going to be to celebrate when we can be together again in a group inside. Like, we got to save that.
Well, and sure enough, when we brought it back, not for the Comedy Fest, because I think that was still like early in the reopening stages, but like the first Pun Slam we had back in the building, we had as many people as we did back in September 2019 when we opened the first time. So I think we played it right, and I think people are really excited about it. And you're right, like when you hear puns, if there's nobody laughing at them, they kind of just fall flat. Like the whole fun is to all experience it together and to groan together or laugh.
Totally,
so
and to our delight, the first one back was the first full one back, which was June, right? Yeah, June. Half the audience were first timers who had never been to one before, and that just like I almost cried on the spot. That was so cool. It was amazing.
Awesome. So what, in your opinions, makes a really good pun?
Oh, man.
It's almost gotta be like played two ways. I really like, so I don't know. I've never had to think about
think for me, it's the delivery. Like, if you can say your pun and deliver it well, that's a good pun to me. Because the thing is, if you have a great joke but you don't deliver the word emphasis so that you catch the pun, it just it goes over everybody's head or it just doesn't land. So like you have to learn how to emphasize and like wait for the laugh. And so this is the rules are different when it's like a meme written down on the internet, because it's a different pun at that point. I tried to write one today. Somebody on our Instagram named Anvil Fencing Company or Anvil Fence. I was like, are you going to come to the Pun Slam? And they're like, well, I'm on the fence about it. And I said, you can and will. But that doesn't write. You have to deliver it verbally for it to land. And so it's like, there's a different criteria for written Pun Slam, or not Pun Slams, but written puns and verbal puns. But when I see somebody on stage that can deliver and wait for the laugh, like that to me is a That's a good pun.
Good pun.
Yeah.
It's the other secret, I think, is keeping it within the frame of context. So like our subject is so important, or it's super important that everyone hears what the subject is before a contestant delivers their set, because if you don't know they're joking about gardening, half of the things are going to go over your head. And then adding context to something later can then make it retroactively funny. When we were recording a trailer for the Pun Slammer term, we did sort of a little mock Pun Slam, and I kept saying the category is blah, 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 category blah, blah. And one of them was category cats, and then it didn't hit me until afterward. Oh, cat-gory. Like, that's, I now have a newer context for it, and it's funny now.
Right.
Awesome. And Wendy, what do you think makes a good pun?
Puns for me go back to my Grandma Osborne, who
Okay.
was
Aw.
only talked in puns. So that's why I'm like, when he was sharing the Pun Slam with me last night, I was like groaning, and so I was like, that's
like,
gonna be
that's
okay,
perfect.
because that's what we did to my grandma, who every sentence was like something punny. Oh, Grandma.
Oh,
Do it
yes.
again. You know what I mean?
I have that relative as well.
Yeah, it's like
My
that.
family.
Were you able to throw them back?
No, I was young. I was just doing this. Like, oh, I get it, but oh, Grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tiff and my roommate Brad at the time had their brains were both punified. The way that, like, if you do a puzzle, a certain type of puzzle for forever, then you only see in that puzzle.
Yeah.
That's what had happened to both of them, my lover and my roommate. And I was short on all the change, and so I was actually angry at some point. Very angry about
Because you didn't
putting
fit
up
in
with
this.
everything that I couldn't keep up with, and it just made my eyes roll. And then I don't know what, I guess I was immersed in it long enough that one day it clicked for me, and by then they were a little worn out, so then I had my revenge all to myself, and they were the ones rolling their eyes.
And now we're married, and one of us will like just drop a pun, and the other will just stop and stare with loathing in their eyes.
Like,
And it's
oh, no,
equal.
you
it's
That's when
me
you
and
know
him.
it's a
And
great
we go,
pun.
get out.
The Western standoff.
You are not welcome here.
I love you, and
I'm leaving this bed. You can sleep alone tonight. I will too.
so you really have to like gauge when you land your puns around your home.
And we have a 5-year-old, and she's getting good at puns.
Oh,
She's getting really good at
nice.
puns. So she's been on the stage a couple of times and has
that's
delivered her
awesome.
jokes. And like with parents that are
nice.
performers,
Of course.
I mean, she's
She feels
on her
comfortable.
way.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
She sees how we hold our own, and she can do it herself. It's great.
Oh, yes. Do we want to have a little pun off?
With us?
Ooh.
them.
Oh, with them.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
Monica.
I'm down.
or this
Oh,
way.
No,
yeah.
I'm not in.
Girls
I'm-
versus
know.
guys.
punless.
I don't know.
super punless.
I'm not a good punster. I mean, they just have to come
But
naturally.
Monica was like, "What if they did a mini pun off?"
We could totally
Oh,
do
What
that.
if we could do a group? I'll just pull a
And rapid
category
fire,
and
whoever comes up with
whatever
it.
comes to mind. Tiff and I will
Okay.
get started. And then
Okay.
it's open season.
Count
Whatever
me
comes.
out.
Open
But-
season.
We have editing if this sucks.
We'll just let's go make it easy. Movies and theater stuff.
Okay. Let's see.
Smoke.
That's so broad.
Movies. Let's see.
Better not be on Broadway then.
Nice.
Yeah, there it is. There's the hate.
Yeah.
People hate
I'm zooming in.
Skywalker.
See, I'm blanking. I'm not in the zone yet.
They're just
Movies.
popping out of my brain. They're not yet. This is the real life.
Can we pick a new one?
Yeah,
The
that's
real
fine.
life.
Yeah, see,
2-star review. Pick a new one.
oh,
That
you
one-
pick it. You
Okay.
pick it then.
Okay, let's try that again.
Don't punish me for the cinemas of my past.
Oh, jeez.
Pirates.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right, I got one from my daughter's joke book.
Oh, okay.
What's a sea monster's favorite meal?
What?
Fish and chips.
Arr.
Chips.
Uh,
God, I can't think of anything. Pirates.
That's pretty broad. The other secret to punning is knowing how tangential you can get. So because you're in pirates, you're in safe harbors to be able to talk about boats for an extent, or marine life, maybe. You know, you can. Yeah. That's the kind of the secret sauce.
Got to make him say Jack Sparrow. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're not very good at this. Is why we host, and not participate
anymore.
Way
better than us.
Well, I'm a podcast host and not a contestant on the Pun Slam. Do both of you have a favorite pun?
I have a go-to example when someone wants to play and they're like, "What's a pun again?" I just need to make sure I remember what a pun is. My go-to is, "What did the tree say to the mushroom?" Gee, you're a fun guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I think my science teacher told a version of that back in the day. Yeah.
Freshman biology teacher taught me that one.
Yeah. One of my favorite puns that I did the night I won in Seattle. My topic was in the hospital, and the joke was, "Did you hear that the Queen recently knighted Jerry Seinfeld? Now we have to call him Surgery."
Oh, that one. I forgot about that one.
So proud.
Where was this in Seattle? What?
The Meadowlark.
No, it's called Skylark.
Lark?
Skylark.
Lark. That was
bar in West Seattle.
Huh. We're going to go there.
Dell Ridge.
Yeah, we are. We do have a trip to Seattle.
I love
in September.
Seattle.
Oh, right on. What part of Seattle do you know where you're going to?
Or are
you still figuring that out?
No, we got an Airbnb.
Yeah, somewhere. Where's it close to?
The Space Needle.
Cool.
So is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you probably got like the
Queen Anne
yes.
sort of Magnolia area.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then we plan on just taking the train down to Pike Place and stuff.
Yeah, the light rail.
Yeah,
I used to take that every day to school. So I used to live
that.
right next to the airport when I was finishing up college in Capitol Hill at Seattle U. And so I'd take the light rail from the airport straight up the hill and then bus it up the hill. And it was great. Yeah. And now it goes into Bellevue, I believe, which makes so much sense. Because Bellevue is like just the big sister city to Seattle, even bigger like business hub to Seattle. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm from the West Seattle area as of late, and I grew up further south of Seattle. So if you have some time to go to Alki,
you're from here.
My family.
What brought you here?
Family. We were. Yeah.
Nice.
We got pregnant.
We had a
no family in Seattle.
Was this on a vacation to Seattle?
No. So we
met at a Pun Slam.
Yeah, right. We knew it was fate. Yeah.
Okay, we met in college in Washington State, at Washington State University, and then when I graduated, he had already gone and went to a different university and didn't graduate with me, but he was living in Seattle. I wanted to move out of Boise. I had friends there, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to go move to Seattle. And so we started hanging out again, and it was
inevitable.
Inevitable, yeah. So, yeah, we got together and then got pregnant, but my family's here and his family was in Tennessee, and I was like, well, I'm not moving to Tennessee.
That's kind of
I'm too attached to the region too to make a jump that big. So Boise's been nothing but great to us since 2015.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So you're originally from Tennessee, or that's where you're?
Oh, not even close. No, I grew up Air Force. So I was lucky enough to basically only live in Seattle my whole youth, but because I grew up Air Force, my folks actually grew up Air Force, each of them, so they're all scattered everywhere across the country. So I got relatives all over the East, and I'm basically, me and my brother are the last ones here in Boise because we're just so attached to the Northwest.
Yeah,
that's our youth. It's what we know. Yeah. So
it's really different than other places.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
I miss seeing ferns everywhere.
Oh, they're in our grass. You should come over. We live in
I'm gonna bring a shovel. I will take
them.
Maybe you can
transplant them.
Oh man.
Yeah, we water our weeds. So we keep
them very green.
We've reached that point in our relationship too.
Yep.
I've considered getting that lawn paint.
Oh really?
I just want to replace it all with moss.
I was thinking concrete. Just like water the concrete. I don't know.
See, moss doesn't grow past a certain.
Oh, yeah, that's actually awesome.
Like,
yeah. Just get a little green.
So and it stays green mostly, and it's just like
I say we just lean into the goat heads, and then no one will ever step on it or ruin it.
Yeah.
We're trying to be
nothing
one
will poop
step
in it.
above our neighbors.
Really, yeah.
Oh, our neighbor absolutely hates us because of our yard.
Oh, really?
She's out there all day, every day,
Just judging
24/7,
you.
365. She's 87 years old, and she will like.
That's what she's got.
She's got time.
She's got
just
time. That's her
picking at the
exercise too.
ground.
Yeah.
Picking at the dandelion.
But you know what? Her
green,
yard.
all right. I don't care what it is. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Ours isn't even green at this point.
Not. Are you both? You live in Boise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What
Boise
part of Boise are
proper.
you in?
Proper.
We're over on the bench, on like the west bench.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then
Which
I work.
is actually my neighborhood that I grew up in my entire life.
Oh,
We live in a house that's 2 streets away from my childhood home.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
It was weird at first because I had to kind of get over feeling like I was in my mom's neighborhood,
Yeah.
like on my
Yeah.
Like
parents'
all
turf.
those memories. From
Yeah, but it was kind of cool because my mom still had had the house there when we first moved back, and so when we had our daughter and she's little, like we could just walk over to grandma's
and
house.
your daughter has similar experiences now.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
but they moved out of our neighborhood, so now it feels more like my turf.
Yeah.
But I really love it. It feels like home, and
Yeah.
I love our house, and the neighborhood's great. So, yeah, happy times.
Sweet.
Good.
Now you both do other shows. You said something about doing like a Shakespeare show, or tell us what else you do besides the Pun Slam.
Yeah, we're theater makers and storytellers, so we just like making stories. We don't have to be the ones telling it. We don't have to be the ones like performing in it or like making it. We just like being a part of making it too, however that manifests. Sometimes it is acting, maybe it's designing, maybe it's directing, maybe it's advertising, what have you. So we are
Artists.
effectively, we're free agents and producers that do what we want to do with the people that we want to do it with, who invite us to do it. And so I do a ton of theater. I used to do a lot of technical theater in Seattle, being a light guy and a sound guy.
Cool.
I did a lot of live mixing for live shows and for big musicals, like the big Christmas pageant. So I'm used to like live sound mixing, like a rock concert.
Yeah.
But I also do acting, and I studied a lot of Shakespeare in college. And so most recently, I'm very involved with the Boise Bard Players. They're a small group that aims to make Shakespeare intellectually and economically affordable and accessible without cutting anything down or dumbing it down. Yeah. And so we get really, really, really nerdy and go from there. We dig into the text, and like where our mission is, like, you don't need to listen to every word that we're saying in order to get what's going on.
Okay, cool.
Follow along, you will get what's going on.
Sometimes it takes a full act before I'm like, oh, I get it.
That's true. Yeah. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of payoff in Shakespeare shows, and so it takes like laying down the cards right in order for you to turn them and give everyone the big spectacle. And that spectacle that we're doing this weekend is Midsummer Night's Dream, and I get to be King Oberon, the Fairy King, and it is. I always get cast as the bad guy.
Oh,
It's a delight. I love it. Yeah, it's been a blast. I've never asked, but I end up always being the closest thing to a villain in a show.
Which is funny because he's just like the nicest guy in the world.
He's got a dark side.
Oh, he wears eyeliner in this show.
Oh, dang.
Nice.
Guyliner.
Guyliner.
Exactly.
That's a pun.
Yeah,
There you go.
There's a pun. Yeah. I don't think it's not an original though.
We also worked closely with Opal Theater for the last few years on its leadership, and recently stepped away from it. But the work that we did with Opal, and that we hope to do with Opal again in some future, it has been nothing short of fruitful and satisfying, and like really artistically challenging. And so we've done all aspects of that too, between directing, acting, designing, advertising, marketing it.
Between the two of you.
Yeah.
So, he's the actor, he's the performer. I'm typically like, I perform in my daily life, and I'm just a ham, but I don't take part in theater necessarily, or comedy even. Like, I MC, but I make posters mostly. Like, I'm a graphic designer by trade, so
okay,
like
cool.
that's how my tie-in with theater and production goes is like I can make your stuff look so good.
And
Like,
you're a social media engineer too.
I am.
Like you
That's
really know how
true.
to pull the levers when you can, because it's always changing.
Yeah.
But like
And
you,
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting into TikTok now.
Stuff we've been
We are a
learning.
little bit on TikTok.
It's
Crazy.
intimidating.
Like,
It's intimidating.
This is TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just started posting my ukulele music on TikTok.
Oh, you play the ukulele?
I just
do
picked
too.
it up.
Hey.
Oh, I almost brought it tonight. We
I-
could
I-
have jammed.
I have mine in the car.
He would have loved
man.
it.
I
Yeah.
wrote an original song called "Ballad of a Modest Woman."
We're gonna have to look that up.
Okay.
You should.
Should I just
It's
go
on
get my
TikTok. It's-
ukulele
You
right
want to?
now?
It's under @ Moon
Weird.
Baby
Do you have time?
Arts.
Oh, we don't have enough time? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Next time.
Next time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, invite us back. We'll be here. We're here
Okay,
every month.
sweet. Oh,
Okay, so how do we find it? 'Cause
I'm on
Chris would love to.
@ Moon Baby Arts. It's literally like one of 3 videos on there.
Okay.
Moon Baby Arts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
Moon Baby
Instagram?
Arts is your graphic design,
It's
name.
my production company.
your
now.
production company name. Pardon me.
Yeah, Moon Baby Arts is what I do all my stuff under.
Okay.
And then he's
Check it out.
he's got his
I'm
own
me.
funny TikTok.
I'm
so-
Smiley. Yeah, I
What do you
I went
do?
viral recently.
He did,
did?
like actually viral.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's still pulling in likes and
Oh, we're
views, and
Yeah.
it's very. So I have this very 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 old copy of Dogzilla by Captain Underpants writer
Another pun.
Dav Pilkey, yes, in my car, and I've had this car in my family car's whole life, which is like 20 something years at this point.
car's whole life.
And I have a 5-year-old now, and she sees like a corgi tearing down cities on a book. It's written by the Captain Underpants author. She wants to read it, but I'm like, yo, if you open that, it might fall apart. This book is so old. So I recently went, you know what? I'm just gonna replace it. And so I ordered a replacement, and then I like stuck my phone in the back of my car, just made a little video to like kind of commemorate me
Yeah.
swapping out. Like there will
Yeah.
always be a Dogzilla in this car,
Yeah.
and here it is. And now she can read it, and that got
Wow.
thousands of views. It like
It just hit
Wow.
10,000 likes.
Oh my god, that's
was it
awesome.
10,000? Yeah, it did just like,
Yes.
10,000
and it was a
likes.
couple weeks ago, so it's just kind of it's kept rolling and accumulated.
crazy.
And I went, I don't know, I only had like 15 followers,
Yeah.
and now I have
Really
115
seriously?
followers. And
Nice.
so now I'm okay. So people like wholesome content. I can
Awesome.
I can work with
Dad
that.
Master.
Well, on the same topic, I'll tell you our #1 video on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
What?
So we were promoting a New Year's Eve party that we were going to have,
Yeah.
and we were going to have karaoke at it. So we filmed us singing, doing
Islands.
karaoke to Islands in the Stream.
And then when he
And
passed away,
So when Kenny Rogers passed away, so we just put this out on Facebook for the party invitation or whatever. When Kenny Rogers passed away that same day, I took this video and put just like a cool thumbnail on it, and I put it on YouTube. Say like
And now
rest in
it's like
peace,
our
Kenny
highest
Rogers.
viewed.
Yeah, it's like has
it
I
got
think
into
7
some
or 8,000
playlist.
views.
Yeah.
Whoa,
And it's like
nice.
16 seconds
And we cannot
Has, like-
monetize it.
because it has the song in it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
But it's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Embarrassing.
yeah, funny and embarrassing, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's 7 or 8,000 views,
Yeah.
and it's
Wow.
not worth any money to us. But we're gonna leave it. So
Yeah, who knows? It'll break the hundreds of thousands one day.
yeah,
Slowly over like the course of 10 years, it'll
yeah,
accumulate.
it's still getting sometimes like 100 views a day, and
Wow.
funny.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, it's really crazy what hits, and then you have those videos where you're like, oh, this is gonna go
This is
viral.
the best one.
Magic.
Yeah,
I
this is
spent
it.
so
And it
much
gets-
time on
and it's
this.
This is the
like
one.
40 views. Yeah.
That's me. I'm the person that's like, this is just
the one.
Yeah.
pristine
Everyone's
video
gonna
content
share
right
it.
They're
here.
gonna call me
Yeah.
Scorsese
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like 26 views.
yeah. it's
Okay.
pretty loud.
after a month.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I'm
not-
so glad we're in the same boat. Because honestly, these are conversations.
Okay,
we
so
have.
the key to social media though is to do a whole bunch of bad stuff and put
keep-
it out there all the time
Okay, that's what we do.
because it doesn't matter the content. The algorithms prefer that you're engaged and that you are constantly posting. So it's like
yeah.
it's gonna pick one someday.
Yeah.
Like Dogzilla, who knew, right? Like
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
he's done videos since then that have not gotten anywhere close. It's just
Yeah.
like sometimes you
Yeah.
you hit it right at the
Mhm.
right stride.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just worth putting anything out
Yeah.
there.
True.
Yeah, I think with that one, it was the timing of it too. Was I heard you were still asleep when I heard about it. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna make a little video here and put it up and see what happens.
Yeah. Right on.
So Pun Slam tonight. 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Lounge at the end of the universe.
Idaho Pun Slam. Come down to the lounge at the end of the universe.
$7 entry fee.
10 at the door.
10 at the
Yeah,
door.
it's 7 online, so
yeah, you can still buy tickets till like 6:30.
Pun Slam. Do you have to pay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so have to pay.
Yeah.
All right.
Entry. And this is all accumulating toward a big ol' Pandemonium Championship in December.
nice.
Yeah, so everyone that wins, including in the before times, those that have won, they're all going to go head to head in December.
The finalists. So not just the winners, but like anybody that made it to the final round is welcome back for the tournament.
Okay.
What else?
It's going to be
Who
awesome.
are the competitors tonight?
I don't know yet. They might be out there right now.
All random.
We have no idea who's going to show up unless they tell us.
Anybody off the street is welcome to come sign up. You get your topic at the door.
Yep.
So it's just first 10 contestants.
Okay.
It's fun.
Sweet. Well, we're looking forward to it. Any more questions? Anything else you want to plug or say on the show before we get out of here?
Yeah, follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Idaho Pun Slam, and you'll get updates on when we are and what kind of merch we have. Like today we have paddle fans that have our whole schedule for the rest of the year on them.
Cool.
So like we're always trying to put puns out. You can send us silly pun memes and we'll
if you send
credit
us something, we'll totally
Yeah.
share it.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. People love that.
So
Yeah.
at Idaho Pun Slam.
At Idaho Pun Slam, go and follow them. Thank you both for being here tonight. We're
Thank
looking
you.
forward to
Thanks
the
for
show.
having us.
You know, if you need a random judge and you happen to
Okay,
sing,
you gotta
We will randomly
Random.
consider.
sit in the front. Oh, okay. You got to sit in the front.
So I can see far enough.
Please
Yeah, right.
see that I am not.
She's not available for judging.
Thank you guys so
Yes,
much.
thank you. All
Thanks,
right.
it's been a pleasure.
Yes. I'm signing out.
I'm signing off.
I'm Chris Adam.
I'm Wendy Mosher. Hashtag get toasted.
Stay toasted. Thank you.
So,
Get toasted.
Get toasted.
I'm gonna get toasted.